Helldivers, you already know what's going on. The game is leaking once again, and this time we've got a fresh look at new armor sets that are right around the corner, as well as new automaton enemies that should be deployed in the game very soon, and even more indications that the Illuminate aren't far off. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and as always, let's dive in. We have covered Helldivers 2 leaks on this channel quite a bit, and I get it. Some of you love this stuff and others don't. That's totally cool, and I respect you either way, because the truth is, Helldivers developers aren't exactly hiding the future of the game. Sometimes they do things that are surprising, like release the Quasar Cannon and Heavy Machine Gun into the game without any warning, and I personally think we should do more stuff like that because it keeps things very fresh. If they're going for a true Helldivers 2 live service experience, that's the way to do it. Sprinkle in small content drops between major content updates and keep the community guessing as to what's coming next. We've seen a lot of the future of this game through leaks, and today we got another glimpse of what's to come, starting with what I believe is the 3 armor sets coming with the Democratic Detonation bundle, releasing sometime in April. We did cover a number of leaks related to this Warbond in a recent video, and you guys ate that up, so we're back at it again with some new details. The first armor set is called the CE-07 Demolition Specialist, which you can see here on the key art. I'm actually really happy to see a full view of this set because this is the armor I was least excited about from the initial leak. It looked a bit bland at the onset, but now that I can see the details, things look very cool. Specifically, those 2 rows of grenade launcher rounds and the pouches on the belt. I also really like that Helldiver skull on the hip, which I really think brings the entire look together. Based on the leaks, we can tell this is a light armor set with reduced armor, but increased speed and stamina regen. What's not that exciting about this armor is the passive effect, which is a recycled one we've seen before. The bonus reduces recoil while crouching and prone and increases the initial inventory and holding capacity of grenades by 2. You're going to see this as a trend with the Democratic Detonation leaked armor, and while I hope it's not true, it does make sense, especially with the Quasar Cannon and Heavy Machine Gun recently added into the game. Having armor that directly offsets the recoil of these weapons, plus the new weapons that come with the Warbond, does make a lot of sense. It's just a bit disappointing. There are so many armor sets already in the game, and a lot of them overlap with their passive effects. This definitely feels like an area of the game that's lagging, and something I hope the team really takes back to the drawing board in the near future. I personally believe they can push these boundaries a bit more and create armor sets with bonuses that do a bit more to change up the gameplay. That or just increase the variety. Either would work to give players more options when building out their kit. The second armor set in the upcoming Warbond is the CE-27 Groundbreaker. I really like the look of the helmet on this one, and that offset air filter really does add an almost hazmat feel to the kit. On the chest and arms you've got some plating and then a bunch of magazine pouches right across the belly, which rounds out the look. Of course, you can't forget about the Helldiver's skull belt buckle either, which is always an in-fashion design. In terms of stats, we're talking a classic medium armor set with standard armor, speed, and stamina regen. We also see the same engineering kit armor passive as before, which reduces recoil while crouched or prone and gives you 2 additional grenades. This is what I'm talking about with seeing those same armor passives repeated. It would make sense during the rollout of a new Warbond to also roll out a new armor passive, but alas, we see the same old same old. The third armor set, and easily the hallmark of the upcoming Democratic Detonation Warbond, is the FS-55 Devastator, which, as I hope you can tell, is about as beefy as it gets in Helldivers 2. This thing looks chunky, with a huge blast shield built right into the chest piece of the armor, and pretty much every other part of the character covered in some sort of armor plating. You've also got a whole rack of magazines strapped across the belly, which looks really cool. The set, as you can tell by the stats, is classified as heavy with 150 armor rating, 450 speed, and 50 stamina regen. This armor comes with the Fortified armor passive, which reduces recoil while crouched or prone by 30% and increases the resistance to explosive damage by 50%. This set is tailor-made for fighting the automatons, with all their bombs and their bullshit. And while I'm not personally a fan of heavy armor, if you are struggling to survive, my guess is this armor might just save your life. Here's the reality though. This armor will most likely be on the 3rd page of the new Warbond, which will cost you 1,000 super credits. So if it's something you like and think you'll want to eventually scoop up, then you absolutely need to start saving now. While these armor sets are the next inevitable 3 to come to the game, some fresh leaks really make me wonder what comes after that. This leak screenshot reveals 2 more armor sets dead center, and while we have seen the primal looking set before, It's the set on the right that really piques my interest. It looks like an Eagle pilot got sick of dropping bombs, cried for a rifle, and is jumping into the action, and I'm here for that. Of course, it does make you wonder what these armor sets are connected to. The Primal set in particular is really a mystery, and you wonder how we could go from super high-tech, almost Master Chief looking sets to armor that's got bone necklaces. As always, time will tell, but it leaves me with a lot of questions. So what's next? Well, it seems as if the automatons will soon be getting a new tool in their fight against we few Helldivers, as if they needed more, because in-game text and some leaked images suggest that the robots will soon have access to aerial gunships. Some leakers managed to find the dropship platforms these vehicles will spawn from, which makes it pretty clear that these gunships will act as a secondary objective within a mission, much like how Stalkers and Shrieker Nest provide a parallel experience on the Terminid front. This all makes sense because we know that air-to-air missiles are coming, and this provides the perfect opportunity to inject a new stratagem like that into the game. Personally, I'm sticking with the Quasar cannon, at least for now, because that thing absolutely shreds bot ships out of the sky. Either way, we're going to have to contend with more enemies on the automaton front in the near future. By the looks of these ships, things are going to get even more intense when fighting with the bots. We also finally got a look at the BX7 Displacer Pack, an item that has been long seen in the game files. Up until this point, however, we have never seen it in action. It's a quick clip and the animation looks to be missing, but you can see the effect. As a charger barrels down on the player, they're teleported away to safety. I'm still not sold on this being more valuable than something like the Energy Shield Backpack or Supply Pack, but it all hinges on the cooldown. If this pack can be used relatively often, I think it'll compete. But if you have to wait 5 minutes between recharges, I think this thing will be gimmicky at best. Again, this is just a leak and we can't take it as solid proof of the item's effect quite yet, but I am excited to finally see it in action. Who knows, I could be missing something about the Displacer Pack that makes it absolutely essential for fighting the Illuminate, and we get a fresh taste of what's to come there as well. We see Illuminate ghouls seemingly rising from the ground, which is a pretty terrifying thought. We also got an animated look at the towering tripod, which I have no doubt will be as big as the Bile-Titan from a pure vertical perspective. Then there's the Illuminate Illusionist, and the animations here are actually quite varied, which makes me think they're going to have a rather diverse moveset. It's hard to tell isolated like this, but my guess is we're dealing with at least 2, if not 3 unique moves. Finally, there's the Illuminate Summoner, which 1 probably summons those ghouls I mentioned before, and 2 has its own unique ranged attack. It's this ranged melee combo that I have a feeling we are all going to come to despise eventually once we encounter the Illuminate. As far as a release date for this new enemy faction is concerned, well, there really isn't anything concrete yet. A lot of folks speculate, based on the way the major orders are rolling out, that we'll see the Illuminate in mid-May, but I am not sold on us having to wait that long. Personally, I think we're going to fight the automatons for a bit, and something is going to happen, and that brings the Illuminate front and center. I could be dead wrong, which is fine, but I think something is stirring. So there you have it, more Helldivers 2 content to whet your palate while we wait for more official content from the team. Things have been relatively quiet from Arrowhead's CEO, which leads me to believe he's heads down hard at work on figuring out what the long-term vision for this game really is. At this point, with still a healthy daily audience, a long-term plan is important, and whether or not they choose to release a roadmap, and my gut is telling me they're not going to do that, I think there's a ton of work happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. Either way, I am super excited about the idea of more Helldivers 2 in the future, and if you're still enjoying the game and you like our content, you already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.